Hey, littles.
So can I ask, I forwarded the email with the Zoom meeting info to my intern. Will she be able
Sure.
to join without registering?
Yes, that's fine. It was so I could send out the Zoom links only to the people who are interested instead of just globally sending it out.
Perfect. Sorry for I assume you're getting the poor quality of my picture. I think my camera is inferior. I always look like that. Plus the window behind me, it doesn't help. I can shift a little bit there.
That's better. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Charlene.
You guys might get to meet all my critters. I got another kitty and a doggy. Oh, wait, here's the other cat. They like to be on camera, right? Well, hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Here's Enzo.
I see a tail.
They've been happy to have mommy home.
Dan. Oh, where'd he go?
Maybe he needed to reconnect.
Maybe.
Just renamed myself. I don't know if others would find it helpful to get a reminder of who we are, where we're from.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Rename. Let's just add Yuri in there.
Doesn't allow you to connect. So do you want to just join me?
Here comes Dan again. And
Help with the glare.
okay.
So Yashu was not able to join, so she's joining me here.
Nope,
So,
yep, that's fine. We'll start in about a minute. We've got a couple more people just joining in now. It is being recorded. So I just got a couple emails for people asking for the link, so give them a chance to get in.
Jim.
Jim?
Hi, Miss Susan. How are ya?
Oh,
Long
that's
time no see.
Jim.
Hi.
Hi.
We got our new league masks yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm so glad.
We already had a bunch pre-sold.
Oh my gosh, we got to get another reorder. We won't talk about that for everybody. But I'm glad you're selling. I mean, that's just great to hear for everybody all the way around on both sides. So.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing some good advertising on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's, well, you know, once the online store becomes your only option to make any money, you're putting all your efforts into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Days.
I think the force that hand of everybody, you know, whether they knew how to do it
Yeah.
or not, they made a quick study of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, why don't we get started and we'll let people join as they log in. Welcome, everybody. We are being recorded and it will go up on the YouTube channel afterwards. If you don't know me, I'm Robin, president of NCSA, as well as the manager at Clark University. Sorry, I have some feedback there.
Sure.
We are not open. I hope to be able to open when the students return to campus. That is not my decision. That is the decision of our COVID team, or one of our mini COVID teams. When I do open, I will only be open to on-campus traffic only. There won't be any outsiders allowed on campus, so that will shut my foot traffic down. And one of the other questions we had was textbook adoption status. At the beginning of the week, we were at 60%. We're now at 73%. And a portion of the people who haven't entered their adoptions yet are still working on revising their classes for the hybrid online model or online only. We are opening for on-campus classes. We'll see how long that lasts, but that is how we're opening. I'm going to call on people just to give a brief intro where you are, if you're open, and if you know your textbook status, if you could just let us know. I did have an inquiry about that. How about Dan at SUNY Cortland next?
Hi, everybody. So our textbook status as of today, our adoptions are at about 78%, which is about 5% less than a typical year, but not awful. The one thing that we're dealing with is we have a deadline of the 20th for our faculty to make a decision if they want to teach in-store or in-store, on campus or online. But the overwhelming majority of faculty want to teach online, and the overwhelming majority of students want to be here on campus. So it's going to be a battle until whenever a decision is made. Our biggest issue that we're facing right now is textbook distribution, because we actually distribute all of our textbooks in our basement of our store, which only has one exit, one entrance. So we rented out a parking lot on campus, and we're going to be doing everything externally with some sort of pod or storage container of some sort. So that's where we're moving towards now. And we just hope that everything is not, planned for nothing. And we need the students to come back, and we're hoping that they're flexible with us. But as of right now, our entire staff, other than me and my assistant director, are on furlough, and we are hoping to bring them back the first week of August, but we need a clear, definitive plan to do that. So a lot up in the air, but we're doing the best we can.
All right, sounds good. How about Charlie next?
We are about 51% on our adoptions, which is really, really bad. So Darren has been looking at, because they keep changing, so we don't know which ones are actually going digital, which ones are remote, which ones are hybrid or anything like that. So he's been busy with changes. So hopefully within the next week and a half, we'll have everything up to date. We are not opening my downtown campus bookstore. We will open up the Brighton campus, hopefully August 12th. That's when we're supposed to be slated to come back to, everybody's supposed to be come back to work, but they still have a lot of people out. I have 3 staff members. The other 5 are furloughed at this time. So hopefully they'll be back August 3rd as well.
Sounds good. Allison?
We're at about 80% textbook adoptions, which overall is probably typical. For right now, we are opening campus as scheduled, or courses are starting as scheduled on Labor Day. Students will go home at Thanksgiving. They have extended the length of each class period to, I don't know all of the measures happening there. The store is officially, I'm open now. We had no furloughs on campus, so I've been here pretty much the whole time. But I'm still waiting for a lot of the information about specific practices. I'm trying to make decisions about the store, but I don't have a lot of guidance from others.
Okay, actually, I don't actually have a lot of guidance on campus either. It's from the campus committees. It's been trying to find out what they actually want from me.
That's, like you said, there are lots of committees, and I've, been at some of those meetings, but I think it's a moving target, right? You make your best guesses and you then have to adapt. So, there's all the new sanitation practices that are going into effect. But I'm kind of left to figure out what that means for the store.
And maybe we can get into that a little bit later.
Right.
Cindy at Colby.
Bowden, right?
Oh, Bowden, sorry, you're right.
She's muted.
Sorry,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Hi there, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, okay, hi. Yep, Cindy from Bowden. We are not open, just doing online orders at this time and have been right along. We are only going to have our first year students coming back for the fall semester, and then hopefully in the spring, if things are better, the upperclassmen will all come. So for this year, all the upperclassmen will be off campus and studying remotely, and the on-campus students will have a hybrid, like some classes on campus, some classes will be remote. So it'll be a very different semester for us here. So we have eCampus for our books, our textbooks. So adoptions are coming in, but we really just made these decisions, like probably most of you, just a couple weeks ago, not even, about what we were going to do going forward. So so there's a but things are going okay. And just like you, Allison, I'm still looking, we're planning our store. I mean, our store is not open to the public right now. We're all working behind the scenes, and we can be away from each other, so it's good. But we were working remotely, most of us, for quite some time. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
And Helena?
Hi, yeah, Helena from Houghton. So we lost 2 staff members, so we're down to 2 left. And we are working remotely still. We do not have an official open date, but as things continue to change, we're planning to have students arrive in the fall, and then they'll be leaving at Thanksgiving. As far as textbooks, we have Academos, so I was just taking a look at that. We're missing more than we have, so the deadline was pushed back due to all of the changes that are expected of faculty with making hybrid courses and all of that, as you know. So yeah, missing more than we have, so working on that.
Alrighty, how about Brendan?
Hi, everyone. So as of Monday, we reopened our store on campus. Our store down on Church Street has been open since the beginning of June. We're seeing relatively good foot traffic down there right now. Some slower on campus since not much is happening. The university is still largely shut down, but a lot of offices and departments will be coming back starting August 1st. Textbook adoptions, they're lower than normal. We're maybe at about 60% right now, and we're still, there's still a lot of angst among the faculty about teaching. They can elect to teach or can petition to teach remotely, but like Dan said, we've got most students that want to come back to campus, most teachers or professors that don't want to be here, so there's still some tension there. Our capacity in store is very limited. Right now it's 67 people, including all the staff. So by the time you factor in 30 employees, we're looking at maybe having 30 customers in the store. So all efforts are being put into pushing people towards our website to order their textbooks, to have them shipped to their dorm rooms rather than have them come to the Davis Center and lower that capacity further. So that's about where we are right now.
Alrighty, and Diane?
Hi, from UMass Medical School, and we are not open. We are in the same boat as you. We don't have any date to open. They plan to have the students back the first week of August. I am here solo. My other employees, one has been transferred to another department, one is furloughed, and we'll see where we go.
All righty. Leslie?
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
Good. So we have been open since June 24th, and we spent months, probably like everyone else, preparing our back to work safety plans that were approved by the state, as well as we have a special committee for the university. And a lot of the summer programming has been canceled here. So we're relying on traffic from our community. A couple of students, a few students are coming back, and we're off campus. For the fall, right now we have the students returning all years. First day of classes, I think they're coming back August 23rd is what the plan is right now. And we have canceled all athletics for the fall. So, yeah, so we'll see. Things are changing all the time.
Yes.
Like everybody else. So we're just being very fluid and flexible. But right now we're just trying to finalize adoptions and, prepare for Rush, which we are trying to figure out how we're going to do that this year, because we do not want the students in the store. So being off campus poses a few different challenges. So we are considering delivery to the dorms and really focusing on online orders, charging a flat fee of $5 as a convenience to encourage students to order their books early, and then we'll ship them directly to their home. Otherwise, we'll drop them off at the dorm before they arrive. So for, to avoid any kind of contact. And right now, New York State has a quarantine for 22 states. So, we're just going to see how that goes.
Yes, it's a theme.
Yeah.
And Jim?
Hi, everyone. Jim from Cornell. Currently, our main store is not open. We just got approval to bring back Salesforce staff last week. We also did get approval to open our downtown store last week, which only has a capacity of 13 people, and that includes the 3 employees that we have down there working on a daily. As for textbooks, well, when we open our main store, our capacity is only going to be 100 customers. That excludes any of the staff that we'll have in the store. For textbooks, we're sitting at about 70 percent of adoptions, and about 70% of that we have been able to push to digital, which is a huge increase of what we've done in the past. Just to give an example, we do the inclusive access, which we call instant access on campus. And last fall we had 43 classes enrolled in that. And this year, this fall, we have over 200 courses now enrolled in instant access, and that doesn't include the different breakouts and whatnot, or the different sub courses and that. That's just the top line courses. We're targeting for about a 75% being digital, just to really cut down on obviously what everybody else has said, the foot traffic within the store. And then many of our branch stores that we're not opening many of those on campus just due to their small size and not being able to maintain social distancing within them. And then, as everybody else mentioned, we're trying to figure out how to hand out the physical textbook orders that we will have. So our text department is going to be closed to customers within the store. We're going to do all of our fulfillment back in where customers would normally be shopping. And we're going to have our order pickup for back to school in a tent outside outside the main store, just to try to, you know, keep some of the customers out and try to maintain that 100% capacity that we have in the main store. But yeah, I think that's it.
What school were you?
Cornell.
Oh, Cornell. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Oh, Tim. Okay.
Sandy?
So Deerfield is planning to bring students back in September. We won't be having a usual rush per se. The students are all being given a 15-minute drop-off time period, so parents will be off campus as quick as they're on campus, so we are not going to be open for rush. The capacity of our store is about 3 to 4 students, other than the 2 employees that we have. So being open is going to be a real challenge. We don't have that defined yet, but right now, Brianna and I are pushing towards putting most everything we can online. And we always do a pre-order email to the students, and that goes out the end of this week, tomorrow. And I expect we'll do more pushing of that. We have permission to deliver their orders to the dorm rooms. IT is also delivering their laptops to their dorm rooms. The dean's office is delivering some of the other goods that they're getting to start the school with to their dorm rooms. So stuff will be there when they arrive. Once school starts, we're still going to encourage online purchasing, and pickup may be just at the door or through a window that we have right on our sidewalk. We haven't decided all of what we're going to do yet, but with sports in serious jeopardy, we don't expect much need for our athletic store, our separate store, to be open. So how that shakes out is still to be determined, but everything may just be in our main campus store. We don't deal with textbooks, so that's not an issue for us right now.
Kimmy at Gould?
Hi. We are going to open this year, and students, I think everybody will be back by the 8th of September. We're going to bring them back in phases, you know, for a couple weeks. And we haven't decided how to do the store. I don't run the store, I just run the online, but I do work with the store manager. It's quite tiny. I think if the 2 of us were going to be in there, we could have maybe 3 or 4 students at a time, which is difficult. So we need to figure out how we're going to do that, you know, outside the listening to you all. You have some great ideas. So we're going to pick up on that. We don't do textbooks, so we don't have to do that. Sports not going on this year is really kind of a drive, but we don't have a separate area. So, you know, we'll just continue with what we have. We don't have we're narrowing down what we're gonna hopefully look like soon in the next week or 2. As everything rolls out with the rest of campus's plans. We'll probably be doing a lot of delivering to the students or have a pickup with the prefects, or we're not quite sure, but we are going to make it different, but great. You know, how can it not be? We are smart people, so we'll make it work. Well, thank you.
Thanks. It's a good attitude. Brenda?
Hi, I'm from Canterbury. All of our students are returning September 7th in waves as well, and you know, slotted times like Deerfield. So we do not do textbooks either. We do it all online through Follett, so that's a non-issue. Our store is very tiny as well, so more than 3 people is about what we'll have for max as well. We haven't really discussed, but I'm loving some ideas of delivering to dorms and things like that to keep our foot traffic out. We have been closed this entire time, so it's just been online stores. We haven't gotten a notification about sports or anything, so there's many up in the airs for Canterbury currently. We're in a different situation. We only have 327 students, so we can do a little bit more with a low amount of students on campus. So I think that's it.
All righty. Laura?
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute
Oh.
button.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't usually use Zoom. I usually am stuck on WebEx. Right now, we're closed and will be for the foreseeable future. I've informed the administration that we are keeping our doors closed until January 1 at the earliest. I am not putting my staff in a position where they have to not only police the masking, but do the constant cleaning, as well as trying to run a store with 3 people. So they were a little shocked by that, but they were receptive because they want to minimize the number of hours that the administrative offices are open. So they were more than happy to kind of say, oh, well, she's doing it, so it's cool. So we've been back and forth to campus during this whole thing. So my staff is pretty acclimated to the, the kind of whole shutdown thing. They're bringing students back to campus, supposedly starting, hang on, I actually have the president's release here. Supposedly starting, they're going to start moving them in small batches starting when financial aid opens for purchasing, which is August 17th for us. So they're going to be bringing in groups of like 5 or 10 at a time to move them into the suites, which is our dorms, and start acclimating them to a 2-week quarantine if they're coming from out of state. New York State requires, any of you who are not from New York State, New York State requires anyone coming from any of the hot areas to do a 2-week quarantine. So they're moving the kids in from out of state. They're going to require that. They've broken down any of the classes where 26% of the classes are online, 46% are remote or synchronous on remote. So they'll be meeting at the time they're supposed to, but via WebEx, Zoom, whatever. And 28% will be a hybrid in person. In other words, they'll meet less than 3 times in person. So that's how they're breaking it down on our campus. Again, everything for us is going to be online. We're keeping the doors shut for the safety of myself and my staff because we just don't have the manpower. It makes fiscal sense for us because we're a small store, and I didn't really receive any pushback on that. So honestly, I really don't see us, just because of the nature of our business and the way we're set up, I honestly don't see us maintaining a physical footprint unless something drastically changes. I actually see us closing the brick and mortar permanently. This has been a major blow in terms of our operations, but quite frankly, we've been doing better sales online than we have with a physical footprint. It's been a surprise, but honestly, it works for us. And whatever changes come, then we'll just have to deal with them. And this is the future of collegiate retail. It's what we'll do. So
that's very interesting. Sammy, are you there? At Morrisville? All right, then I think we have hit all the schools. If our vendors just want to say hi. Sue at Kirkland?
Yes, Susan. Sorry.
Hi, no.
L2 Brands, League, and Legacy. Is that all you want to know?
You guys are open and running fully?
We are open, yep, and we're right in Hanover, and we've been open, and they're gradually adding more and more people to the production and so on as the need is showing, and it's growing. We're really getting things out quickly. Reorders are 1 to 2 weeks. New stuff is 3 to 4. And face masks are about 6 weeks because that comes from our LCA because we're sublimating them, which is in El Salvador. But that's going very, very strong. We've also offered lower minimums for July and August to help that too, which is, you can just talk to your appropriate rep about that. It's about half the minimum for those 2 months. So those are kind of nice ways to get something in a little fewer amount, but more frequency. We thought that would help. But anyway, we're here. I'm here.
Good. And yeah. And Jen at Ouray?
Yes, hi. I'm with Uri Sportswear in Holloway. Colorado was one of the first states to open back up, so we are pretty much running full force. We are on a limited staff. We've got fewer customer service people. They did furlough quite a few in the beginning, but we've actually picked up, and so they're starting to bring people back. We're about the same lead time, about one week. Last reorder I keyed in for UVM, it was going to ship in a week. So reorders are shipping quite fast. New art's about 3 weeks to a month. We still have a ton of masks, which I'm sure you guys are inundated with masks, but they just did a major price drop on masks. So if anyone wants a good deal on a mask, we've got them. But yeah, we can help you guys with, web images, all that stuff, because it really sounds like a lot of this is going to be online. Also, my boss is going to let us offer all of our show specials. So the tackle tool specials for $18.50, the pre-book specials, the promo sale program. So anything that we offered earlier, we're going to try and offer you guys as many good deals as we can. We're going to start doing like a special every couple weeks. So I'll just be sure to send stuff out. And I think Uri has been sending a lot of email blasts too. So we're just trying to get back in biz. I think we've got a pretty good business too. So, I mean, things are slowly getting better, but it's definitely been some crazy times, especially where we are. So I actually got a COVID test on Friday because my husband's son has cerebral palsy and we hadn't seen him, and negative. Yes.
Yay.
But, guys, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. Get that test. Stay safe.
We're going to be,
It
we're going to be tested weekly once the kids come back. It'll be fun.
Oh, well, better safe than sorry though, right?
Yes, yes. So many of you should know that Alyssa Pogan from Catania did retire, and we have Sherry with us if she wants to pop on and say hi. All right. And Sali is a new vendor if he wants to pop on and say hi.
Sorry, first time doing a Zoom call. Hi, everyone. New to this space as well. Just a little bit of an introduction. I'm actually a manufacturer. We have a family business in Pakistan. We actually manufacture all knits apparel. We've been doing that for about 12 years now. Before that, we used to do woven apparel. And for the past 11 years, we've been supplying to like wholesalers. And I had a discussion with Robin the other day. I'm trying to enter the college space. We do sell to the college space, but indirectly right now. But I'm trying to establish like, kind of like our own brand. And came here in Feb. My wife moved to Jersey for her job. I came here in Feb, and literally after like all these plans that I had in my mind,
To have
1 month into
lost
it,
you?
and then yeah, seriously. And since then, I've just been like sitting and like just wondering what's going on. But hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens.
What is
but
the
yeah,
name of your
like
company? What was the name of your company?
Caprium. That's the name of the company that I bring in the goods right now to sell to the wholesalers, and then we do programs basically. For instance, we do this. I'm sure you guys have heard of this Jostens company, the ring company. So they do like a senior high school program. So we've been doing that for about 5 years now. We do a lot of like souvenir kind of business as well. So we provide blanks and we provide decorated garments. So depends on the requirement. So
Could
trying
you
to enter
spell
this.
it?
Sorry
Could you
about that.
spell it, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's CAPREUM. I can send you my email address if you like, Susan.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just trying to see where this, how the college space goes ahead. And hopefully eventually, I would like to meet every one of you to, kind of show you what I have to offer in terms of our product.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I lost my connection there.
Oh.
Just we, as an or NACS actually is helping the regional associations work on a virtual trade show for the fall meetings. We've just had one discussion about it and a demo of software. If NACS reaches out to the vendors, which they are going to do in the next week, I think, they'll be demoing it specifically for the vendors. I urge you to go on that and take a look at it, since we aren't going to be able to meet in person this year. It looks like some good software. May have some issues, but what doesn't these days? So, and then once the decision is made, we'll send out the information to all of our members, and it'll be a good way to see what everybody has as for show specials this year, and to see new vendors and our old favorites. So, Allison, you had some questions about opening and cleaning and disinfecting. Did you have specific questions, or you just want to know what people are doing?
Yeah, I think we hit a lot of that. I currently have one door in and out of my store, but I have some emergency exits. So I think one of those is we're going to do one way, one entrance, one exit. You know, we will do more cleaning than usual. I haven't set a maximum capacity for the store yet. That's something I'm going to work on soon. I'm curious. So I have two general questions for the group, and you know, what kind of products are you trying to offer in the store that you don't typically have? Like, I've been asked to bring in thermometers, and you know, I haven't done a lot of searching so far, but you know, what I have done, nobody has anything in stock. You know, the disinfectant wipes, the hand sanitizers, blah blah blah. You know, but what else? You know, and masks, of course. What else am I missing there? And if you've had luck finding them, where? And then I'm trying to come up with a series of marketing campaigns just to stay connected. You know, we're going to have No Homecoming or Family Weekend this fall. New ways to reach out to parents, alums. You know, I'm searching for creative ideas to connect with all of the stakeholder groups that we're not going to be seeing. I don't think we've had an athletic decision yet, but even if we have athletics, I know that I will see far fewer parents in the store, you know, before and after athletic events than I have in the past. So just any idea sharing on those fronts.
Has anybody heard or seen the social distancing rings yet? I've been asked to look into those, and yoga mats for kids to use outside for events or activities or whatever, in order to keep their appropriate distances.
You know, I was watching SUNY Oneonta. You might want to reach out to Jackie or Tracy, because they were pre-selling this awesome little bag, and it had a thermometer, a mask, hand sanitizer, and then it had this little tool that you can like open doors and stuff with. So you actually
I've seen those. Yeah.
Who's that, Jen?
SUNY Oneonta had them on their Facebook page, but I don't know who makes them, but I just thought it was a brilliant idea. I mean, it was a little bag of all those things. So
My vendor
we're
at
doing them this year.
Brands has them.
Oh, okay. So I thought that.
We're doing them this year, and Neil Enterprises is sourcing them for us. So we're calling it our welcome kit, and the university is giving them to all students, and we're bringing back all students in the fall. And it includes 2 masks. It's a no-touch tool where you can grab doorknobs with it. You can open lids. It also includes a thermometer. They were able to source a lot of thermometers. The university is buying 30,000 of these packages to give out to all the students, and they were able to source them. Not in the color that we would like. I don't think Syracuse was on the call. We had to get orange thermometers, but hey, everything else is red in that. So it includes hand sanitizer, and then we're also including some coupons for our dining here on campus, and obviously for the store as well within that. We wanted to include kind of a little pocket of COVID guidelines, like obviously wear your mask, maintain your social distancing, but the university hasn't really come up with their full message yet. So that might be something that we'll just distribute outside of the package when we get to doing that. But yeah, Neal Enterprises was able to do that for us, and they were able to source everything. So that's been.
I was
that's
just
been
asked to do that this
helpful.
morning for employees.
Yeah,
As they bring
the
employees back,
30,000.
we want to do that.
Yeah,
Giving them
we're
away?
not going to use all those for students, so we're hoping to sell some of them to departments also that want to give them out to. And then if we have more left over, just having them for sale on our general retail site.
Jim, do you have a contact person for Neal, like, you know, Neal Enterprises, or that I could reach out to? You know?
I'll send it through in text, because Matt London is normally our rep for that, but he's out on paternity leave. But there's another contact that we're using that I can look up, and I can send it through the chat right now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I have a relatively small store, and in order to figure out my maximum occupancy, I started at my register and measured out 6 feet, and then measured 6 feet and figured out I could put 8 people in the store besides myself and a student worker if I actually have one. So that was the easiest way to do it. It's pretty much one way anyways, because there's only single person aisles within my store, being as tiny as it is. But
the state has provided square footage guidelines, Robin, and that's what I use to come up with either 3 or 4.
Yeah, I would be able to put more people based on square footage, but with my displays, I can't.
Well, there's
so. Any other questions about anything?
Hi, I was curious how everyone's tracking the occupancy in your store at any point. Like, do you have someone standing at the door monitoring that with clickers, or how are you keeping up with that?
We are going to have, we have a couple of entrances to our store. We're going to have one entrance just for people entering the store, and one entrance just for people exiting. And we will have monitors at each of the door to monitor our occupancy and make sure, you know, students are not just students, but our customers are coming in with masks, and just reminding them and pointing out signage and whatnot when they come in the store, just to try to maintain social distancing. And we've already talked with our campus security that, as Laura said, we really don't want to put any, you know, put our employees in any increased danger, because if you see some of those Karens online, they are pissed if they've got to wear a mask going into the store. So we've got our campus security on call, that we can make sure that they're there to enforce it, and they'll be doing regular walkthroughs too, just to make sure that everybody is following the guidelines while they're on campus.
In that vein, Jim, that was actually one of the discussions I had with the administration. We have a rather large constituency of adult students, and one of the things that the administration wanted us to do was, you know, feel empowered to tell people, put a mask on and maintain your 6 feet. And I took kind of offense to that, and I said, listen, first of all, that's not my job. And I'm really one of the people that I always go above and beyond for this campus. But I got to be honest with you, I am not going to have my staff going up to people and saying, "I'm sorry, you need to put a mask on," or "You need to do this." We can gently remind people, but if people get huffy and turn into a Karen, yes, that is not my job. That is not the job of my staff. You've cut our staff back. We're busting hump back here to make sure everybody gets what they need. We don't need to be taking on that responsibility and putting ourselves in danger not only because these people aren't wearing a mask, but now we're getting close to these people that aren't wearing a mask, and we're expected to enforce something that you're putting in the rules as part of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's the governor and the federal government and all this. Yes, okay, we have legitimacy for it. That's not the point. The point is that you're asking us to enforce it. That's not our job. And I'm not going to put my staff in a position of any sort of aggression or anything like that. So that was another big reason why I said, no, doors are going to be shut until January 1, until we get this whole thing figured out. I want to let the chips fall where they're going to, and see what the fall brings. I'm not going to add to the chaos that I think is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then great. But that was one of the big ones for me. We have enough to do.
No, I completely get it. We went back and forth on it a lot. That's why our main store is still closed until we actually have our plan fully developed, because right now the university doesn't even want any customers that want pushing them to the main campus. Our campus isn't open necessarily. It's open for research right now, and that's an essential personnel, and that's it. So, but yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. We've gone back and forth on that a lot.
I don't envy you, Jim. I really don't. You've got a huge store and a huge footprint. I don't know how you're doing it.
Jim, will you use a clicker to keep track of the 100 people? Like once they're in the store, how do you track how many you have?
Yeah, I believe it's going to be a clicker that they're going to be using between the two, the entrance and the exit. I don't have the complete details on it, but I think they've said there might be an app that they're going to be using to just keep track. So, you know, when you have customers exit on that, you're counting the customers basically, and they're exiting, and you're lowering your occupancy. So
yeah, we had trouble when there were 10 and we were like, wait, there's somebody in the fitting room, and we didn't notice it. So I'm just curious how everyone's handling that.
Yeah, and all of our fitting rooms, because we have fitting rooms in the main store, and then we have our fitting rooms in our common store downtown. Those are all closed for the future, because we're really going to try to push people to not try things on, and if they do, that item's going to the back and being so hopefully they won't be just, you know, unrobing in the store, but you never know, some will.
Yeah, we've taken the mirrors off our floor so people won't be able to see what they're trying on.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Robin?
Yes, Sue. Yep.
Just for the few of us reps on here, how do the stores foresee working with reps, like when, if, video? I mean, what, you know, how can we be people, and how can we, you know, continue to help build the business and keep it going? And
well, we're a no visitor campus, and we probably will be until spring. So it'll be video if we're going to see anybody. And it's true for a percentage of the stores that I've talked to, that it's going to be video only. And also at this point, since I didn't have my spring sales, I am full of product as well. So, I mean, I'm not as full as I once was because I did do online sales, but until I sell some merchandise, I can't reorder merchandise. And that, I think, is going to be a down spiral, just because I won't be able to get new merchandise in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once we do get to campus, or once the students do get to campus. Everything is up online, for which I'm grateful. I'm grateful the majority of it was there already. I did put supplies up, but it's going to be interesting. I don't know if people will come into the store shopping once they get to campus. The majority of my sales are on campus during the school year to students. So we'll see how that goes. Does anyone else want to weigh in on that?
Susan, my dad's been forced to go into full Zoom mode. He's not allowed to travel. So he and I have been bouncing that back and forth. So that's been interesting. So I've been doing a lot of Zoom and WebEx with most of my vendors. Unlike a lot of people, I'm actually doing better online than I was doing with the physical footprint. So
is that based on marketing, or did you
No.
increase your, or just people are much rather shop you online?
I guess more people are just shopping us online. And honestly, I think due to the uncertainty of not knowing whether or not they can come back to campus, and we're finding that a lot of students from other colleges, I mean, we always had this during the summer, but we're finding a lot of students from other colleges are utilizing our online systems to take some of their base courses. So we've got students from Loyola University. I've got some of your students, Jim. A bunch of students are using FLCC as a way to knock out, you know, basic Spanish, basic French, physics online. We're one of the few places that offers physics online. So they're coming to our campus virtually, taking those classes, transferring them over to their own school. But in the meantime, oh, I'm online. I've already ordered my, you know, my online science kit. Hey, I'll grab a sweatshirt. Oh, look at that. They've got a thing online on sale. I'll just grab it too. It's just, I don't know if it's just a security blanket thing because they just come to the one spot, grab it all and do it because they're forced to do things online now. But all I know is that my sales are up. And if it's good for me, then hey, I'm going to run with it. So for me, I'm starting to see a drop in inventory that I didn't have before. Does that mean that my board is you know, going to say, yay, go get stuff? No, of course not, because, you know, I'm just a retail manager. What do I know? But you know, hey, I'm going to run with it. So I'm just, I'm seeing actually positive things come out of this. So it's really, really funny, some of the trends that I'm seeing online, but
there is a lot of positives in all of this craziness I have seen and within the industry and outside, but yeah, and I see some things that'll probably be a permanent change. But, you know, we want to be useful, we want to be helpful. We're here, you know, and we're always here, and I just want to be doing the right thing and servicing the right way, and so it's helpful to hear what we should be doing.
Susan and Jen, I know I posed that question to Jennifer the other day because my full team, we're not going to take up any occupancy in the store. So we're going to be all working from home for, they really told us probably until the spring at some point. And I brought up this question with Jen the other day. I said, girl, you're going to be doing a lot of catalog shopping and Zooms with Susan, Zooms with Ed, Zooms with Jennifer. And she's like, she brought up the idea, well, some reps, not Susan or Jen, have offered to come over to my house. I'm like, no, that's just putting yourself in, you know, way too, yeah, it's sketchy territory. So I said, Zoom is the way to go on all of that because the university also doesn't have, right now it's no visitors, but they don't have an official visitor policy in place right now. And it's not going to be looking good for the future for those in-person meetings anytime soon. So.
Yeah, I doubt there'll be, I mean, I'm wondering if they'll even have any trade shows next year. I'm sure. You guys heard, is everything canceled? Do we know?
Camex is still on.
Camex
so Camex is still on, and they are they're at a site that is super clean and has done training. If you go to the NACS website, they have it all about Camex and where they're going and how they're going to be safe. All the regionals are going to be virtual.
Yeah.
And based on what NACS is doing or helping the regions, NACS is helping the regionals with the virtual trade show. And it looks like it will be probably at least 2. We're still working, as I said, we're still working out the details on that. We're trying to make it regional, or regional would work best, just to keep, one, the amount of people on the trade show floor down, but also there's the time zone issue. And then if you're trying to hit 500 vendors with 1,000 store people, that's going to take way too long. So it will most likely be regional. All the educations will be separate though. And that will be based on what each association wants to do. But everything will be virtual. And as I said, I just saw something yesterday about CAMX still being live, although they are going to do some portion of it digital as well.
I wonder
yes,
if CAMX actually
Oh.
will happen because so many people have restrictions on travel right now.
Yeah.
The other thing about CAMX is they keep emailing me as well to like, you know, sign up for the booth. And I keep going on their floor plan and I actually don't see a lot of like vendors signing up to actually, you know, showcase their product. And the second point about Jim, like, you know, and Susan, like about, you know, the how to actually show, you know, like vendors showing you the product. And Susan and Jennifer can probably relate to this as well. When I sell my product, I actually want my customers to actually, you know, like feel the fabric because that's what I'm selling. So it's kind of, sometimes it's very hard. Like if I'm having like a Zoom meeting, I can like, you know, kind of like hold it up on a hanger, but it just doesn't, it's hard to kind of like, you know, show you the weight and the feel of the fabric. I don't know. It's just tough that way.
Yes, it is. I did do a vendor meeting like that, and they were basically selling graphics. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, so
Are vendors
it is,
at
it's
all?
going to be
Oh, sorry, Robin.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was wondering if vendors at all had, I was thinking maybe a good option would be to put a box together or maybe 2 boxes of key samples, new ideas, and create a schedule to send them from account to account and schedule your Zoom meetings that way. So maybe your buyer could be the one touching, feeling, putting their hands on the product. Because that's how I buy too, is I need to touch, feel, see, stretch.
That's a good idea.
Excellent suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
We could also probably send you guys samples if there's something that you think you might want. I mean, Ura is pretty good about, you know, using the marketing funds and sending samples, and I'm sure they would do that right now for anybody that wants it. But
Yes,
it's a new
Sue.
world, isn't it? It is a new world.
I have a question. How does a trade show, virtual trade show, how does that work?
So it's, the video is set up like if you were to open a map of a trade show floor, that's what it looks like. The software is called Remo, R-E-M-O. And actually I can send the link to you so you can hop on. There's a store demo tomorrow, but there will be a vendor one, but I can send it to you. You can hop on for that. So every vendor would be assigned what they call a table. There's 6 seats at each table. 1 would be for the vendor, the rest would be stores. There's the ability to show a video. You would be live chat, so you'd be chatting with who's ever sitting around your table, but you could show a video of the product, so you don't actually have to hold them up each time. There is a whiteboard there, so you can like sketch graphics if somebody has a question. And there's the ability to link off the software to close a sale or make an appointment, to set up a separate video, to do one-on-one. And there is a little bit more messaging, which I asked them to go into more detail about tomorrow, just so we can see how that works. And there is, I think it's 20 tables per floor and 18 floors per building, and then you can have as many buildings as you want. There is the ability to either move from table to table as you wish, or the association could set it up so it's like speed dating and you get 10 minutes with every vendor. That decision, the formatting decision, will be made by the associations as they pair up or do singly. NACS has licensed the software as an overarching for the associations. They would prefer not to do 17 association trade show, which is why they're hoping we'll pair up, also make it easier on the vendors. They're looking to make registration at like $10 per store, and I'm not sure what the vendor fee will be, but it's something just so people will actually commit and show up. It's not looking to be a money-making venture. And that's about as much detail as I have right now. But as I said, the software is REMO if you just want to pop online and see it. And so,
well, that's,
and
way better
We-
than I thought. I get it a lot better, so that's helpful.
Yeah, and it won't be, it's a better quality video than Zoom. So we'll just see how that goes.
So there's going to be like, okay, today is our show day, and then
yes,
kind of thing. So it'll be an all day kind of like hanging out with your
we're
stuff.
hoping it won't be all day because I don't know that stores can commit to a whole day. You know?
Well, don't they come and go or what? Or no?
Well, it depends on, so if it was like a speed dating one, you'd have to commit to however long the speed dating took. If you were just popping in and out, that would be another thing. It would also depend. So I'd say NCSA is like 75% committed to this. We wanted to see one more demo before we say yes or no. Mid-Atlantic would definitely like to join with us or set it up on a mutually acceptable date for the two associations. I don't know if we pick up on another one, pick up another association or not. I know Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia are talking about doing one possibly. So, and California is definitely 100% committed to it at this point. So we'd have to see dates and times. And then for the education portion of the show, we haven't finalized it, but it probably 1 or 2 sessions a day for like a week or so, depending on topics and all of that. But we're looking at, for the trade show, it'd probably be mid-October to beginning of November, depending on how it all works out. And we are talking about having, or I did ask Snacks if they were going to produce a program book so we know which vendors are signed up and any show specials they're doing or product. So a new vendor would actually have, the new vendor would be able to get their name out, so stores would have a reason to stop by their table. But then also, you know, if you don't deal with somebody, you may not want to see them necessarily, be forced to sit through a 10-minute lecture from a vendor you don't deal with on a regular basis, versus you may want to check out a new one, or you just may want to pop in and say hi because I haven't seen this person virtually or live recently. So
Would, you know, you guys have done those 3-minute presentations, or was that NEBC?
Mhm.
But
no,
anyway,
that's
that's you guys. Okay, so that might even be something that would be useful that could go out ahead of time, so then people would know better if they want to stop at those tables and be on the, you know, on the virtual, you know, appointment.
Yep, that's a good idea. I'll put that down. So, all right, we're actually out of time, but is there any one last minute short question that people want, or? Yeah, oh, we've got a couple.
Yeah.
Sally?
Oh, so not a question, just I'm going to leave my email address over here. Someone had mentioned about, like, you know, putting together a package. I'm going to leave my email address on the chat room. If anyone wants a package of those samples, email me your address and stuff, and I'll put together a package and send it out to you guys.
Sure. And Leslie?
I just wanted to say that we had to put together a very comprehensive, robust plan that had to be approved not only by the state, but by the university. And we've developed multiple documents for cleaning logs, our quarantine policy for returns, as well as our curbside pickup. I'm happy to share any of these documents if anybody would like to see them. Our team spent months just developing all of these documents, and they've been working really well, especially the cleaning logs, attendance logs, tracing, tracking, you know. So if anybody's interested, just reach out to me at lpasco@colgate.edu, and I'm happy to share them with you.
Thanks. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. No.
All right. I will say that there is a membership search function on the website. You just need to log in to be able to do that at northeastcsa.org. If you've lost anyone's email or didn't get it, or you want to just reach out on your own, that is certainly fine. The recording will be up in about an hour or so on the YouTube channel if you want to go back and view a portion, or if you want to share it with anyone who didn't make it. And thank you very much.
Good to see everybody.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you.